Back to our top story in the latest interview from President Donald Trump. He sat down earlier today with Judge Jeanine, where she asked him about how he might handle press briefings.
The media is in a frenzy, and so given that some of these congresspeople thought he should have been fired, they called for an investigation even of Jim Comey. Doesn't it suggest to you that it isn't even about Comey? It's about anything that you, as president,
it's true. Number one, they're hypocrites, but it's beyond being a hypocrite. You have these the level of hatred toward him, especially during that period of time with Hillary Clinton, where he gave her a free ride. I mean, he gave her a free pass like nobody's ever gotten a free pass. And during that period of time, the level of hatred by the Democrats, also the Republicans, to be honest, because, you know, first she got a free pass, and then he came out with Comey 2, and then he came out with Comey 3, and the ultimate thing is he gave her a free pass. So they should have liked her. Well, they should have liked him, but because he did what he did for her was unbelievable, with all of the guilty, and they goes, but she's not guilty.
Your agenda is not getting out because people are caught up on the Comey issue and ridiculous stuff.
I agree.
How do you get rid of Comey?
I think
who in your press office says one thing, the vice president says another thing? How do we resolve that?
Well, that's an interesting situation. I actually said today, let's not ever do any more press briefings. You know, they're getting tremendous ratings. And especially the fake media, they're going crazy. They are going crazy. And they'll be in the room, and you have to see the way they ask questions. I want screaming, and there's never been anything like this, to get like a question out. And in all fairness to Sean, and in all fairness to Sarah Huckabee, and in all fairness to anybody that stood up there, they don't know me. I'm a very active president. I'm dealing with China. I'm dealing with Japan. I'm dealing with North Korea. I'm dealing with all of these different things. Russia came in to see me, the foreign minister, the other day. And right after that, they didn't say this, but right after that, the foreign minister from Ukraine came in. I said, fellas, you got to make peace. You got to get peace. They only talked about Russia coming in, okay? And we took pictures. They took pictures. We released the pictures. They made a big deal out of it. Everybody knew he was coming, and he was scheduled to come. But they didn't talk about Ukraine. The point is this. When we have those press conferences, I actually said we shouldn't have them. Because Sarah Huckabee...
It's been 100 years we've been doing
it. No, but listen, but there's never been action like this. This is crazy. I mean, we're getting higher ratings. They're getting higher ratings on those press conferences.
Would you seriously consider stopping these press sessions?
No, we do it in a different way.
How?
We do it through a piece of paper with a perfectly accurate, beautiful answer. I'll give you an example.
In writing?
They're asked 100 questions or 50 questions or 20 questions. If they get 1 out of 50, just a little bit off, 5%, 10%, 20%, it's the next day it's a front page story in every newspaper.
Right.
Now, so press conferences weren't even covered for Obama practically. They were on C-SPAN and C-SPAN 2, and, you know, there was nothing going on.
Jeanine Pirro now here to talk about her exclusive interview with the president. Jeanine, good evening to you tonight. Pretty good get. Your timing was good. I think if you get the president in the briefing room every 2 weeks, I think it will be must-see TV. Just so our audience knows, what time did you do that interview today?
Well, I think that we did the interview shortly after noontime today.
So that might have been before the Spicer briefing, correct? Because Spicer took a lot of questions about the potential for recordings in the White House. Now, you're a lawyer, prosecutor. What did you take from that today, Judge?
Well, one of the issues, of course, is whether or not the president can record someone. And the truth is that D.C. is a one-party consent state. So if the president wanted to, he could. There's nothing that is illegal in the criminal sense. The issue is whether or not that's actually being done. And by the president tweeting what he tweeted, saying, you know, Jim Comey better hope that that there are no recordings of our conversations, has got everybody in a tizzy. But at the same time, I think you've got the president who's trying to say, hey, look, everybody, I just want people to tell the truth and be bound to what they've said. And, of course, we think that it was after Watergate that, they stopped recording in the Oval Office or on the phone, but we don't know.
But you don't have a firm answer on that tonight, correct?
No.
Okay. You've known him a long time. I think a lot of people on the outside believe this is a West Wing in chaos. What was his state of mind? How would you characterize what you saw today.
Well, you're right, Bill. I've known the president for almost 30 years. I didn't see any chaos in the sense that, you suggest, but I know the man, and this man runs 100 miles an hour. And I even said to him, isn't it hard for even your press staff to keep up with you because you're always moving?
And he said yes.
Yeah, he did. He admitted it. And then, but I see him as someone who wants to deliver for the American people, who is working extremely hard. There's a frustration level that all of the focus on things that don't address his successes. And I talk about that in the interview. And then at the end of the interview, I talk about some of the personal things in his life. And obviously, we're going to air that on Justice.
Was there a headline that you heard today? Anything that surprised you?
Yeah, when he said he might stop the press briefings, I was like, whoa. And the truth is that, they have been incredibly open to the press. But I think the president, and he came in on his staff's behalf to his credit, he was backing them up, saying if they get 2% wrong, it's front page. And he said, I'm done with this.
Okay, all right, we'll get it all this weekend, won't we? Thanks, Jeanine.